In this video, we'll look at the core feature of Linked Helper, setting up a drip campaign with multiple actions. Here is a simple workflow I want to create. For this to happen, let's create a new campaign in the Campaigns section. Click New. In most cases, you will need a people type campaign, which works with individual profiles. If you need to visit and extract company pages, use Organizations type. To configure your own campaign from scratch, leave Add Prepared Actions unchecked. Give your campaign a name and a brief description. Go to the Workflow tab. To add the first action into the sequence, click on the plus button and select Invite second and third contact. Now we need to fill the queue with profiles. There are 3 ways to do that. Click on the Queue button, then Add Contacts. Or proceed to the Collect section on the left panel. Finally, find the Lists tab on the upper panel of your campaign, select Queue, and add contacts from there. You can collect profiles from a number of sources. As I'm going to run the search on LinkedIn, I'll go to the search page and set my search criteria. Click Start Collecting. The collect counter will appear on the left, showing how many new profiles are being added and how many skipped. Similarly, I'm going to add more actions to complete our funnel. Let's look at our final workflow. First, we're going to send invitations. Next, there will be a delay between actions for 1 hour. It's good to insert this component when you want to introduce timeouts between actions. This means that there will be a reasonable timeout between inviting and sending a welcome message. Without delays, messages might go out too soon one after another. Third, filter contacts out of my network will establish who accepted your connection request. Fourth, we're going to send our welcome message. Pay attention to these 2 settings. You may stop the process for the contacts who replied to a previous message of your campaign. The second setting screens for any messages you had sent the contact prior to that campaign and will pause if found any. Here's an example. The person who replied to my invitation with, "Okay, good to connect," received no further messaging and fell into the replied list. Our next action will visit profiles. And finally, a second follow-up message will go out. Let's also set the message template for our inviting action and whenever we need to send messages. We will go into detail on how to use Message Template Editor Pro in a separate video. Now that we're all set up, let's start our campaign. For this to happen, find the Start button at the very top of your page, or click on the Start button next to the campaign name on the control panel, or just go to Campaigns Manager and select the campaign you want to start. The campaign will kick off with loading the first profile in the queue, then doing whatever is necessary to send the invitation. If you hover over the campaign name on the control panel, there's a quick preview of statistics. As actions are executed, contacts move down the funnel, which you clearly see in the numbers of queue, successful, failed, and skipped. Successfully processed contacts are transferred to the queue of the next action. Processed contacts fall into the local CRM, where you may view what actions have been completed for that profile, the very message they received, and their LinkedIn profile data too. To download a CSV, select the contacts in the lists and click Download. This was an overview of Drip Campaign from the setup to execution. Do not miss our next video that digs into the settings, limits, and Campaigns Manager panel.